Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey. This is Red Color, and this is the reading for Tuesday, the 24th of August. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. Pretend that I put this up in a more even fashion. Okay. All right. It's like, just get through it. I feel like that's what's going on for me right now. So that's probably part of the message. It's like, okay, we're going to get through it. It's part of it. So it's the remnants of the, I taped them the day before. So it's the remnants of Henri. So it's sunny and then it rains and then it's cloudy and then the sun is way over there. And, it's a very odd weather pattern. It's like a little thing of storms will come through. And my deck is falling apart. All right. Just, sometimes you have to just keep at something until it starts working again. It's kind of like warming up the car. It's like, I mean, I don't even know how to drive. But it's a little bit like that. My day has gone like that so far. So let's see what the energy is. Enough chitter chatter. My cards are very sticky because it's so humid, honestly. 1, 2, 3. Okay, at least we got some new cards. Seven, Emperor, Hermit. Okay, so 7. Well, first off, let me just say that the Emperor is the card of Aries and the Hermit is the card of Virgo. And we're coming into Virgo season. Well, we started Virgo season. So happy birthday, Virgos. Early Virgos. This is a funny card. So it's a 7. 7 is about confidence. That's first off. He's the farmer, obviously. There's a certain element of anticipation, certain element of, there's a little self-doubt in this card, actually. That's it, look at him. It's like, well, I planted these things, but I don't really know what's going to happen. Are they really going to happen? And, sometimes you take an action towards something and then you get like, well, I don't think it's going to work. And here comes the sun. Oh, the sun is so beautiful now. It's like, well, I don't really know if it's going to, it's a self-doubt. It's like you did everything you can do. You did everything you could do. And then you're like, oh, I didn't do enough. It doesn't work out. It's not going to work out for me. Like a self-fulfilling negative prophecy. Okay. Then we get the Emperor, which is a 4. And the Emperor is all about being a leader. The Emperor is really very powerful. He's got a vision. He knows how to make it happen. He knows how to delegate power. He knows how to be in charge. He knows how to say yes when it's time to say yes, when to say no when it's time to say no. So, the Emperor is, and here's a little bird. It's a sparrow. He's confident. He's very confident. He's Aries. He's very, I am. Right? So he has the Martian energy behind him. And then you get the Hermit. The Hermit is the card of Virgo. So the Hermit's a very, very deep card, but the Hermit's really about knowledge. The Hermit's really about digging deep into something. You know, he's like the guy who goes to the library and spends like, it's a little bit like Isaac Newton, like a little bit crazed, a little bit um, inner focus. So, okay. So here we are with the 7. And, you know, a lot of people see this card as negative. I don't always see it as negative. I think it's one of those cards that can kind of go either way. So if you already, okay. So you planted your seeds, or maybe these are the thoughts or the ideas that you have floating around in your head. And, you know, you're in charge of what's floating around in your head. Okay. Um, and you're really looking at your thoughts. You're really, really, right? Because he's the emperor, he has to make sure everything is in order because he manages everything. And this one is really digging deep, looking. It's like, I'm going to look at my thoughts. I'm going to look at what I planted. And so what I planted, and it isn't necessarily in the physical world. I mean, generally it is in this card. However, you know, I like to do my little thing. It's like, what have I planted in my conscious or subconscious that, what fruit is going to grow from that? If I keep on telling myself that everything I do and everything I touch is not going to grow, well, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a tree with one shoot with no fruit. So I think it's really about observing your thought, understanding, observing your thought, understanding that you're in charge, and whatever you plant will in fact grow or not grow. Because, you know, there could be, it's so pretty. Sometimes when there's clouds and then there's sun, you get this real drama lighting. Okay. This is, so she's the gardener, right? So she oversees. She's very patient. She's very patient. So I think that's a big part of the message, actually. So sometimes we're able to see something that we planted that might not necessarily be the right thing, right? And, you know, think of it like you planted a tropical plant in a temperate soil, in a temperate environment. It's like, well, no, a palm tree will not grow in New England, right? And a fir tree will not grow in Cuba. Okay, the botanist. She also has this energy of observing. Look how she's looking at it. So I think this is really about looking at what it is you've planted, or what it is you believe, or what it is you're surrounded by, right? Because if you're living in a garden, and we're all living in a garden, it's like, well, what have I set up for myself? It's like, well, maybe these plants that I'm surrounded by are not giving me the fruit that I really want them to give me. Maybe I want different fruit or different flowers or different. And I think this is about taking back your power, or not taking back your power, but understanding that you're the powerful one, understanding that. So if you have a garden and something blows in, or a bird brings something that, you know, is not something you want, I'm not even going to give an example. It's not something you want. Your job is to weed it out. Your job is to maintain it. Your job is to say, this plant needs water. This one needs to be moved because it gets more sunshine. Like, that's your job. It's not like, oh, well, I'm just going to allow whatever falls into the garden to happen. I mean, sometimes there's a time for that, but not the whole garden, because otherwise what you have is a garden of weeds, and there's nothing. I think that's what it's about. I think it's about understanding that the seeds you planted are exactly what's going to grow. And what is it that you planted? What is it that you planted? So I think it's a day sort of observation. I don't think it's really about an action thing. I think it's really about, it's really like, now we're going a little bit slow-mo and a little bit slow. So this is, the card of disappointment, which I hate to end on. But it's also 5. So it's change. So this is also, it's like, where is he concentrating? Where is he concentrating? Is he concentrating on the loss, or he has the ability here to turn around in a very dramatic fashion because he's wearing a cape and it's just going to flow, He has the opportunity to see what does work, what will grow, what has grown, what bears fruit. So, but it seems like he's concentrating on what didn't work, right? So I feel like it's a day of observing what it is that you planted in your garden, and then seeing if you want to allow it to grow, or you want to weed it out, or if you want to move something, or if you want to introduce something new. I think that's what it's about. I think it's a day of observation. I think it's a day of observation of one's hopes, of one's thoughts, of one's ideals, of one's relation, really of everything. Take the day off. Take the day off, take the day off. Sit and contemplate, Look, it's not all going to come at once anyway. So I mentioned all those specific things because I think it's, different for different people. So I think it's a day of observation. It's the beginning of Virgo season. So Virgo is really about being meticulous, being an observer in a lot of ways, being exacting. So I feel like that's the kind of stuff that's going to be going on for the day. And, eventually we'll get to action. But some days, sometimes before you move forward with something, it's like, let me see the lay of the land. Let me see the lay of the land. Let me see what's out there. Let me see what will grow. Let me see what's already growing. And I feel like it's a day of self-observation. Finally got the title. Blessings. See you soon. If you want a one-on-one, all the information is below. Go to my thing. I make one-of-a-kind t-shirts. I have astrology t-shirts, blah, blah, blah. Marketing, what can I tell you? Blessings.